5, 6, 7.
Just got paid.
Saturday night,
Party
Party
jumping.
Hey.
Feeling right. Booty shaking.
all the
Was it
Booty
the
shaking.
booty or the body?
All around.
Oh, I said body.
Oh, I was like, I thought it was the booty shaking
booty.
all around.
I don't care. It was booty. It was all
I don't
booty.
know. We're gonna have to confirm later.
I got no clue, but for me, booty sounds right. So
Look, well, speaking of butts, welcome back, all little butt cheeks.
hey, ain't nothing little about mine though. That's
Look,
okay,
I wasn't
though.
gonna call you out, but since you want to talk about it,
well, I was like, it's already fitting. We've talked about them in prior episodes, so hey, whatever. It is what it is. Now, hi guys, what's up? This Drea.
What up? It's your girl Lise back with it again.
And Chloe.
I swear, Chloe, you do it the same way every time. Hey, Chloe.
Yeah, this is gonna be my signature.
I love it. Especially with the smile and the dimples,
Coming through with that face. Love it. But hi, guys.
Wait.
You always got a real random aggressive laugh, too. I feel like that is also signature, just out of nowhere. Just
because I'd be like, what deviousness is going to come behind that?
Right, the mischief.
Oh, it's gonna be something.
It's always something.
See? Mischievous. But yeah, hi guys. Welcome back. What's that? How's everybody feeling today?
Look,
I'm feeling good.
It's a new week.
It feels good.
Look, look, we're going to go ahead and say the date, okay? It is February 6th. And if y'all listened to the last episode, y'all should have, okay? Y'all know I've been doing Whole30. I have one more day. One.
Bam, 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 bam.
Let the
celebrations about to go off.
Okay.
What meal do you have prepared for this first day off?
Yes. Okay. So tomorrow is the last day, Wednesday morning. So February 8th. I am
counting
down. February 8th. I'm waking up. I'm gonna go to the gym, and I plan to stop by Starbucks and get my special chai latte. I get it done a certain type of way. Yep.
As you do most things.
Y'all know I'm very particular about all my stuff.
She a persnickety one. She is.
I'm such a foodie, but I'm a particular foodie.
Can't be eating everybody's food.
Okay, we don't trust everybody's dishes. Now I plan on having Chick-fil-A for lunch. Look, it's the little things, okay?
That tracks. She said the Lord's chicken.
The Lord's chicken, because there has yet to have been a time that I have gone to Chick-fil-A and been disappointed, okay? And then when I get off work, I'm going to go to Cookie Society.
She got a whole itinerary.
For those of y'all that are in the DFW area, y'all better go check out Cookie Society. Them cookies are blessings, okay? And it's Black owned. I haven't even tried it yet, but I've been literally salivating over these cookies on Instagram. And I was mad because this is how much of a foodie that I am. I literally went to Cookie Society last week when we finally thawed out, because they were keeping their January menu a little bit longer for a couple of days. They have a butter cake. Now, y'all know I love butter cake. They was out of the cookie. Now, this is the strength, because I planned to get the cookie and I was going to freeze it and eat it on this Wednesday to make sure that it would still be good. And they didn't have it. I literally was like pleading with the girl, but I thought y'all was supposed to have y'all menu for a couple more days. She was like, yeah, but we're all out of that one. I'm like, okay.
Damn.
I was like, well, see you on Wednesday.
It's like whatever you have.
I'm coming back from my sweets they have for this month. for Mardi Gras. So they've got the King's Cake, since Mardi Gras is in February. They have a King's Cake cookie, a red velvet cookie, strawberries and cream. And then there's like some double chocolate something with like these sprinkles for Valentine's Day that they have created. Now I don't want that because chocolate on chocolate is just don't hit.
Yeah, too much chocolate for
I'm
me. I
so
can't.
sorry, but I am just trying to contain my laughter because you remember
The menu,
all the
girl.
flavors.
They also have,
And then the way you describe it, I don't
She
want this one.
analyzed it.
Like, all right, Bubba Gump.
We got shrimp salad. We got shrimp scampi.
Girl.
We got all this stuff.
and that's just the specialty cookies because I can tell you the rest of the menu.
Oh,
Damn.
Lord.
But yeah, I need that King's Cake, strawberries and cream, and that red velvet. Let's get it. That is.
What's on a king's cake? What's on a king's cake?
So the King's Cake, the cake part is I imagine that it's probably a sugar cookie type of base. And then it has like this sweet, it looks like a cream cheese type of icing over the top that they have colored purple and yellow with like a little green sparkle. It's the little, the little sweet crystals, the little sweet crystal sprinkles that they put on top. That's on there too for the to go with the Mardi Gras theme. Oh, it looks so good. Now I can tell you, the red velvet and the strawberries and cream definitely got to be a hit because when I went in there, they were already sold out. But she had just put out a fresh batch of the King's Cake, and I was like, "Ooh, I got to go! It smelled too good up in here. Let me leave."
Look, I'm gonna order me some later.
I'm like, next time y'all come to
good.
Colorado, I expect a
No,
box.
Ray,
you can order them online, girl.
What? Don't tell me that shit.
Go ahead and support black
No.
businesses.
I know, but I don't need. See,
My
I'm
cakes,
on a wholesome kick too. I can't be.
My cakes from a black business, Cakes by Cynthia.
Look, and you know it's Black History Month, okay? Come on now.
Do your due diligence, Drea.
I can't. I cannot. Y'all, it's very bad. You hear the peer pressure they're giving me, people.
Do your due diligence.
She sure did.
It's Black History Month. We're talking about finance today, audience.
But even though we're starting off with cookies talk.
Support your black ass business, okay?
Support your black ass business and mind your black ass business.
That's going to be on a t-shirt. Support your black ass business. But first, cookies. Anyway,
look, working in the budget
from a black
as we get into the finance journey, because everybody, I feel like that's usually a goal for most people when you're setting like your New Year's goals. There's somehow money tied into that in some type of ways. Go ahead and work them cookies into your budget.
Pay yourself first. Think about the cookies. But, ladies, let's talk about financial stuff for real, though. Like, okay, so financial mistakes. Who's made them? All of us. But what's a big one that y'all could think of?
For me? When you get that extra money left from your student loans.
I know, yes.
And you be like, balling, because like at 18, you never had this kind of money in your pocket.
Facts.
Instead of sending it back like you should, it never happens.
I never did that one day in my life either.
Nope. You was out there making it rain on them hoes.
Shit, I was paying rent with that stuff. That's what I was doing.
I mean, I was paying for some stuff, but I could have sent some of it back. Well, whenever I did get the extra money, I could have sent that shit back.
They make it so difficult, though. They do that shit on purpose. They're like, here,
they do. It's like
we're giving you the full lump sum.
Like, ooh, I got like $1,000 left. They put in my account.
Not only that, the schools didn't help either because the schools would just drop it onto your student account. And we have they give you the little debit card thing for it too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we are in trouble now. Like, come on now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of my, I would say, biggest financial mistakes. That and, of course, credit cards early on. But
Mm-hmm.
that at the same time, I could have been saving a lot more money, but at the same time, my credit score is excellent because of my credit card usage. So
Well, that's a plus.
helps my when I go get me a house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. Um, that
Mm-hmm.
to me is my biggest. Well, those two. So I would say definitely the credit cards. I find it um disgusting the fact that just I remember being 18 and it's like, where did y'all get my information from? I didn't ask for this. Plus we didn't have enough
Mm-hmm.
education on how to use credit cards properly back then. I had no
Facts.
concept of money management at 18. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
so I can just keep spending and using this card and just
Mm-hmm.
make a small payment here or there. And by the time I knew it, I was like in 10 grand in credit card debt, like so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
At 18 years old, like what? Not knowing what to do, barely
Mm-hmm.
making money as it is, having to pay that. And then
Right.
of course the student loans. Like going to, of course, a lot I take responsibility for the fact that I was BSing through a lot of my college days in the very beginning. But just like how Chloe said, you get that extra money instead of sending it back, you spending it, using it on other things you have no business, partying with it. And before I knew it, by the time I finished my degree, I had racked up like 87,000, a little bit more than that
Sheesh.
actually, because I've been paying. If you think about it, it was probably more than $100,000 that I had in student loan debt. I wish that I would have went to like some prestigious college with having that much in
Mm-hmm.
student loan debt. Nope. Only got a master's degree.
She
I mean,
said,
only got a bachelor's degree
"Nope."
too. Now I'm glad that I learned my lesson because when I
Mm-hmm.
went to do my master's, I recognized, especially the current state that we're in. I'm like, nah, I'm good on that. I don't need that master's degree. Not at this point.
Mm-hmm. Right. Not unless, like, I would only go for a master's if I knew without a doubt, like in my mind, I needed it to move forward
Right.
in whatever
Career field.
field I was about to be
Right.
in. But like, bitch, I'm too distracted. I can't. Mm-mm.
Me too.
I'm a professional student as it is. I have an associate's and I have a bachelor's and I have a yoga teacher certification and I have something else. And then I was also working on the music studio stuff, but I have since quit that. So because student loans are expensive,
Look,
Mm-hmm.
can't afford it right now.
Drea
So
said, this is just like how you always had a story with a different location.
I thought exactly about
Drea's
that.
list of certifications and degrees. Drea got so many, she stopped remembering what she had.
I did. No, there's something else in there that I straight forgot. I was like, I know I have at least something
Was it the
else.
massage one?
So the massage was the associates.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, which I clearly don't use anymore because I don't touch motherfuckers no more.
COVID is real.
It was before
she said
that, girl. I was
you
like,
hated it, didn't you? Look, I tried to tell Dre, I was like, "Would you give me one for $200?" She said, "Nope, I hate it that much."
mhm.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, no. And that was what in 2014, 2015 when I was like straight out of it. I moved from New York to Colorado and was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done now. I don't need to touch anybody anymore. I'm good. And my whole family was like, say what? I was like, no, I'm not touching you. My mom hates it. Poor mom. I'm sorry, mom. I love you though. But Lisa, did you want to continue telling any other stories about your biggest financial mistake? I feel like I kind of railroaded and
Oh,
like
no, you good.
diverted. You good? Okay. Because in addition to the student loans and stuff, I wanted to talk about one that I made that was like, it's one of those where I totally kicked myself in the ass when I did it. and I just recently thought of it, but okay, so I was in New York at the time. Think about if you go to live in New York, it's nice to have a vehicle, but you have to be prepared. You're either going to have to pay for extra parking, which is like a whole other car note in itself,
Ooh.
or side street parking, but they literally have the street sweepers every other day in a lot of areas. So you have to be prepared to move your vehicle at 6 o'clock in the morning if
Oh
you're on the
no.
wrong side.
Mm-mm.
I, at the time, was not capable of waking up before they would be on the streets cleaning. So, they're going to ticket your shit. And I would get so frustrated, like having to do that. And I couldn't afford parking at the time. So then I just decided, okay, whatever. Y'all could take this car back. I didn't understand. I knew in a way, but I didn't understand really that whether you did it voluntarily or not, it is a repossession on your credit.
Yeah.
Understand, that shit follows you. So that was a major mistake, and I didn't reach out to anybody and tell anybody. So the first part, oops, hit the mic, my bad. The first part, before I even gave the car up, I couldn't pay for the maintenance on the vehicle because the shit was getting too expensive. So then I ended up trading it in, thinking that was going to be me being smart. Like, oh, I'll trade it in for another vehicle where I don't have to maintain or get new tires and brakes and stuff. So I traded my vehicle in for a shit Sentra, fucking Nissan Sentra, bullshit ass car. Then, so that's the car I ended up repossessing. But like before I did that, the car got the side mirror wiped because I lived by the fire station at the time. So and I didn't move my mirror in. So that bitch caught the side view mirror on my side, on the driver's side. So it's not like I was able to not get a ticket driving that vehicle. So, I was just like, fuck it. I'm done. I was so done. So that's what led me to
I can envision you
the
screaming
pressures.
just like that too. Mm-hmm.
I did, girl. I was like, motherfucker, nobody said shit. I was so done. I was so pissed off.
It's so funny how we be so mad at the world for our mistakes.
Like, baby, you here because a lot of life choices. You shouldn't even been in this area. But
if we knew then what we knew now.
All I have to say is, you thinking about giving that vehicle back to the dealership or back to the lender? Think again. Try and sell it first. At least if you do that, you have a chance. Even if you're upside down, it's better than having that ding on your credit.
See, and
So
I
don't
didn't
do that,
realize
ladies
that
and gentlemen.
repossessions go on your credit. How long does that?
Oh, yeah.
How long does that stay with you?
7 years standard.
Just like a bankruptcy.
Basically.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it follows you for a long time. And I will say, New York financially, I did everything wrong in New York. I did everything wrong in New York. I almost got evicted twice.
One of the most expensive places too.
And I was living by myself for a long time, which was a fucking mistake. I should have had roommates.
Right.
Like, I was too proud though. I was like, oh no, I don't want to be with any roommates. I'm out of college. I don't want to do that anymore. Bitch should have sucked it up.
Yep.
Because I was by myself. This is in like 2008 to 2013. No, 2012, I'll say that I had no roommates. It's New York City. The cheapest rent I had was $1,000 for a studio in the early 2010s. Just think about that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
then, because at that time,
Colorado was like $400 for the cheap for the ghetto. The ghetto. Oh man. It was like,
I'm like, at that time, at like 2014, I had a 2-bed, 2-bath for $875
Oh
with a rebate.
God, that number, that would be a godsend. That
My
would have
first
been
apartment, I was
amazing.
paying $575. That's because it was
Shut up.
I got on a little
Damn.
income based. I had a nice little one
Mm.
bedroom, one bath in a good neighborhood.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh
man. Those were the days.
man.
Now, shoot.
Nope.
It's
There is no
horrible
difference
now.
between renting and owning a home, but I mean, let me say price wise at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, it's
And then the
you're just
people that
not
already
building
had a
any equity.
house paying less than the renters.
mm,
Right.
I would say the upfront costs are different for a house, but like if you could get past the upfront costs, it would
Hmm.
pay to get a house. But I don't know.
And
Right
the
now,
equity piece of it. But
mm-hmm.
I refuse during this time where the interest rates are the way that they are. If you can afford to do it,
Right.
definitely go for it. But I like to do too much in my day to day and travel too much to be giving up that much money right now in hopes of being able
Mm-hmm.
to
Right.
refinance later on. I'm not an in hopes type of person.
Excuse
I
me.
need to
Yeah.
know that that's what's happening.
Like, no, ma'am. What is the rate going to
Right.
be?
It just got raised again by another quarter
Mm-hmm.
percent. Like, no, I'm good.
Are we at still in six or are we at
I think it's
7% now?
7.25% now is what the rate
My
is.
heart on a house. Jiminy Christmas.
Hmm.
It's out
Nuts.
of control. Yeah. So, ladies, Drea's made a lot of mistakes, I will say. I'm just now recovering from a lot of the shit I did as a 20 year something and early 30s. It's taken a long time.
Shoot, it's usually tough digging yourself out, like especially with them credit cards. Then like you can't afford to make more than the minimum
Oh
payment really.
Yeah.
God.
So then it's like going
Right.
nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, America has a problem, okay?
Yeah.
America has a problem, as Beyonce said.
Just the
America.
sheer concept of having to
Um,
put yourself in debt to prove that you are worthy of paying
yeah,
something back is what
Yeah.
builds your credit. No.
Mm,
it's
that's
BS.
true. That's deep.
And then like they allow these credit card companies to put crazy interest on there so you're not getting anywhere. I'm like, why do they allow this
Right. Taking you
stuff?
like 7 to 8
Yeah.
years to pay off a balance because, especially if you're only
Mm-hmm.
paying the minimum payment. Woof.
Right.
Yeah.
And you think about it, it's like you said, to build your credit, you got to do stuff like have credit cards. Like they're essentially putting us in this predicament
Mm-hmm.
by making it that way and then allowing the credit cards to have the interest so high that we can't pay them
Right.
back.
Your average person in this day and age does not have that liquidity of having cash on hand to just be able to go
Mm-hmm.
and spend. You know what? I want to go and get a car. I'm going to pay cash for my car and put, whatever down for it. Or you just
Mm-hmm.
same thing when it comes to these homes and stuff. Like a lot of us just do not have the capital, especially we're in this point where inflation,
Mm-hmm.
everything is higher. Our money is not worth what it was. The wages are not matching where we're currently at right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody didn't want us to do well because the fact that it's not required in our grade school education doesn't make any sense to me to learn about, financial stuff and make sure that we can take care of ourselves when we get out in the real world.
I don't think it's necessarily like one person didn't want anybody else to succeed or
Well, I'm not saying
anything,
it's one
but
person literally.
right. You sure sounded like the people's
She's
out to
like,
get
look at
us.
I'm
here,
just saying,
Jane, Jane and
Jane and
Whitefield.
Christina
I'm blaming this on you for not having.
not included in the
Who
systems.
was wait a minute though? Who was our principal, Chloe? Mr. Clark? Or he was the
Oh,
assistant
I
principal,
forgot y'all went
wasn't
to the
he?
same
I
school.
can't remember. I
Look at here,
can't
Mr. Clark. It's
remember.
your fault we don't
Mr.
have financial
Superintendent.
literacy, okay?
Right. We were taught like how to cash a check, but never how to balance the ledger really.
That
Like
part,
Right.
yes.
Like,
or like balancing
I
a
don't
ledger
know
is
why
not budgeting,
I
actually.
don't know why America doesn't require this. And then they talk about, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and this and that. But y'all don't do much to help us set us up in the right direction to begin with.
I don't necessarily know that it's America as like the federal institution's responsibility, but I definitely feel like the prior generations did a terrible and shit job educating their kids about what money, what credit is for, how to better invest. Like, I didn't have these conversations growing up about investing at all. You know, it was always, oh, just get a good job and save and you'll be fine. You know, I feel like that story kind of just misled everybody. Because I don't know, do other countries even educate people on finances like that? I feel like they just don't.
They may not
I
have
don't
the
know,
same
but there's
struggles as we do,
definitely,
though.
Yeah, we're in
yeah,
capitalism,
I'm like,
straight
they definitely
capitalism.
educate their kids on some things that we're not getting educated on, though.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I still kind of blame the country for some of this. Because some of the shit that y'all have us learning in school, not even necessary. We don't even take it with us.
Yeah.
After, like, why not teach us things that we can use
Yeah. I agree with
when we
that.
get out into the real world? And like I said, I kind of do blame the country because it's like, but you set up the system
Mm-hmm.
for, oh, we got to do this to get credit.
Mm-hmm.
We got to do these things to put ourselves in these bad predicaments, but you don't think you should make sure it's required that we're kind of learning how to handle these things when we're in school?
I will say the fact that there is no legislation restricting credit cards or loan sharks or like the payday
Mm,
loans in particular, because that is highway robbery. Like, that
yeah.
shouldn't even be legal to have an interest rate that high
Right.
as a payday loan. You know, that should just
No.
not
And
exist.
it just gives me, this country only cares about big business and just capitalism and whoever is at the top making their money. And if the little people are stupid enough to do these things, then that's on them. That's what it's giving
That's what it
to me.
is. That's the story of America. Oh my god.
Right. That's why I'm like, people don't know. I feel like they intentionally set us
It's
up
another it's
to
another
always be
way
digging ourselves
of like systematic oppression. Just one of the other things to add to
in.
the list.
Right. I'm like, no, y'all doing something intentionally if you're not even willing to put this in our
I
curriculum
just think
to make us do
there are
better.
some schools now that I've heard that are starting to add like financial literacy as a course to take in high
That's good.
school. I definitely miss
Thank
doing
you,
that
Jesus.
because I used to do, when I still lived in Colorado, we would do the African American Youth Leadership Conference and
Hmm.
would teach to 11th and 12th graders financial literacy. And it's crazy how quickly every kid's mentality was like with going to college and things of that nature. Oh, yeah, student loans and credit cards. And it's like that mentality, like how you said, Drea, that generational mindset has just
Mm-hmm.
continuously been passed down. But then you also have those that they just truly have zero concept of money management whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I can get a phone, and having a cell phone only costs like $30 or $40 a month. Not in America. Unless you are
It
about
Right.
used to,
a
when you had
senior
a
citizen.
plan that you had to pay for the minutes.
Right.
You remember
If you're
paying
getting
for
you
your
a
minutes
prepaid phone,
and your text messages?
do they even still have prepaid phones in this day and
I think
age?
on like, yes, no, they do.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Burner phones, of course they do.
Look,
Hmm.
aside from that,
They ain't
look,
going
be
away,
prepared
but
to pay about a good $70 to $100
hmm
for your one line. And
Right.
depending on what type of phone you have, go ahead and add on an extra charge because you know you ain't gonna have enough money to pay for it off top to pay for that
right.
phone in full.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Well, remember when the phones used to be $40? You could pay for it in full.
Right.
It was a Samsung flip phone that lasted all of a week.
Right. You can just make one payment of $200, $300 for that
Yep.
phone
Hmm.
and be done.
Yeah.
Now
Man, I'm so sick.
$1,500. I cannot.
Right.
Yep, y'all go ahead
And
and work
that's
that in my
one
bill. I'll
line.
pay it off on the next within the year.
It's a hot mess.
Why? Y'all stay upgrading the camera every year anyway. That's usually the only
Right.
thing that changes in most of these phones.
Basically. Yeah, because ever since like the beginnings of like iPhone 10, I feel like everything's just kind of been the same, pretty much. Just a slight design change here and there.
Now,
Well, I was gonna ask, what were y'all feelings on the borrower's defense student loan discharge?
let me tell you something, okay? Save my life. Okay? Now, look, Stray gonna put a link on this in the YouTube for those of you who do not know what this is. So I had no clue until
Chloe
good old
saved
Chloe
Lisa.
sent it to me. So without calling out any colleges' names, but we the
It's on the
borrower's
link.
defense student loan discharge is something that's completely separate from what Biden was trying to do for the student loan forgiveness, where he's doing up to $20,000. It's a completely separate program. It has been around, I believe, for like the past maybe like 4 to 5 years.
Has it been that long? Dang.
I believe so. Well, yeah, because Everest is the Everest colleges were one of the first ones to kind of like kick this off, and it probably it's been around longer than 5 years, but I feel like within the past 4 to 5 years is when there has been more attention coming to this. Is just people still don't really know much about it. So basically, colleges that do shiesty practices to either get students to enroll, or they're promising you like jobs after you graduate, things of that nature. Anything shiesty that might go on during the time of you being with the school just to continue to take your money. And there have been several colleges that the Department of Education have found guilty of these practices. So they've compiled a list of various schools where, if you have gone to one of these schools and you feel that their practices basically affected you, you can file for the borrower's defense student loan discharge and put in a claim essentially to get your student loan debt wiped away from that school, whether it be all or a portion of it. It just depends on after they review and investigate. So Chloe sent this to me. I did it. And when I tell you, it took months, okay? That must have been like, what was it, like maybe June or end of May, something like that. It took like 3 to 4 months for them to review, and then I just randomly got an email, and I saw the like
she texted
case.
us all back.
When I tell you, I hollered at the top of my lungs when I saw that it got approved, and I was texting y'all. And now, first off, let me say this: that when Chloe sent that, I was like, girl, let me tell you something. If this ends up working out for me, I am literally going to take you to dinner. We're going to go wherever you want to go. You can have whatever you want. Okay. So I played off of that when I text the friend chat, because I literally was like, so Chloe, where you want to go eat? She was like, oh, did it get approved? I just found it funny that months literally went by and you remembered off of that one
she
clue.
Immediately off the cuff. Oh shit.
You gonna take me wherever I want to go, and I order whatever I want to order.
Let me tell you
she
something.
started listing a whole bunch of shit in the text already too. I'm gonna give me some of this. What was it? Lobster.
She said steak and lobster. She needed a whole surf and turf, drinks, dessert. I was like, look, baby, okay.
Oh,
You can have whatever you want. So,
like a whole payment worth.
okay, a whole payment's worth because I ain't got to make them payments anymore. Okay, so I can spend that money on you. I would have never known that this was even a thing if it wasn't for you.
Yes.
So yes, mine got approved, and so in these situations, it does take a while. It takes a while because they have to go through the different, not only your school, but your loan servicer, all these notifications. And in certain circumstances, they will fix your credit report, which I have just from reading other people's like stories and like, testimony. Look, I feel like I'm in front of the church giving that testimony for everybody in the congregation. Let the church say amen.
Testify.
Say amen. Amen. Hallelujah.
Amen.
So
Hyundai Sonata.
that will always be a classic.
Oh my God, for real.
But your credit report could be fixed as well. So but during this time, I do not have to make any additional payments towards my student loans. It took a couple months because the approval, I believe, was like September. It took a couple of months, but now when I log in, I've already seen actually a couple times that I've logged in, my student loan balance gets lower and lower because they're actually removing the loan. So far, it's a little over like 37,000 that's been taken off. Y'all heard me earlier when I said y'all heard me earlier when I said that I had like 87,000 that I was still paying on at the start of the pandemic. And there is a chance that when this is all said and done, that they will refund you the money that you have paid so far as well. It's not guaranteed.
Girl.
It's just one of the perks that potentially could happen. But yeah, so far over these past couple of months, it's a little over $37,000 that has been discharged. No, this is not fake. This is real. And then I did see that some article came out that there were like 9 million applications for people. Now, this was not related to the borrower's defense. So I have to say that when people there are so many different programs out there where you potentially can have your student loan debt wiped away. It was a different program, but there was a mistake made with 9 million applications where people were told that they were approved, and the reality was it was a blunder, and that was not the case. So they're still trying to figure that out on how they're going to handle it. I'm like, sucks to be y'all, but my stuff, look. Look at God. My stuff has been approved, Jesus. And when I tell you that that I continue to log in just to surprise myself and see my balance go down. Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
Hey.
Even if it doesn't take care of the entire thing, just to know that I'm not that high in student loan debt anymore. And think about it. If this, even though right now everything is on hold with the student loan forgiveness that Biden was trying to do up to 20,000. Think about if that goes through. Like, just for me personally, that drops me down. If it was to stay where it's at now, then I would have student loan balance like within the $40,000 range. That's manageable. It's compared to what it was before. It's crazy to me how when these people will call you and be like, "Oh, we calculated your payments and hope that you can pay this off in 10 years. $785 a month. Yeah, is that good?"
Nigga, what?
No.
That is more than my car and insurance.
Facts,
Thank
I
you.
need to be able to live. Okay. I like to travel. Y'all not getting all my money. Y'all better take this $20 a month and leave me alone.
She said 20. How's 20? That feel good?
$20 a month.
It's what you're getting.
Oof, and it was not
well, I know you happy because that balance. Oh,
girl.
Well, congratulations again, Lisa.
Yes,
that's
look,
super
and
dope. And
Chloe has not officially chose her restaurant yet. So whenever
Officially.
you choose your restaurant, look, let's go eat, baby. Okay, look, and I'm not gonna be on Whole30 anymore. Hey, we gonna eat, girl.
Hey.
That's gonna be contingent upon what city we're gonna be in.
Look, at this point, we're gonna be in whatever city you want to be in.
Right.
Well,
It's a meat wherever
wait
you
a
want to
minute.
eat.
Let me. Now, I'm not hopping on a plane to give you dinner. Okay, let's.
Look, I want to go to Milan.
I'll be like, look, now we can go on over here to this Olive Garden.
Bitch, she did not. Nowhere near.
Make it feel like you're in Milan.
Look, we can go over here to this Olive Garden. Maybe
need to say
even
like
do
a
a little
Maggiano's
Carrabba's
or
if we want to be
somebody.
fancy. You know, Carrabba's was always a little bit of a step up from Olive Garden.
Oh,
She didn't even give you
Lord.
an Italian name. She said Olive Garden.
Olive Garden, girl.
At least a
Well, you know,
Maggiano's or something.
Well, I ain't picking not one of those.
Look, they breadsticks go hard, okay?
So,
That Zuppa
we
Toscana.
gonna figure this out.
I can't.
You know what? One of my friends recently got food poisoning at the Olive Garden in the spring.
Lord.
That's too bad.
Yeah. She was like, I've never been so sick. I think I got food poisoning.
Oh no.
And it was after having that, whatever that pasta is. Not the zuppa, the other one, the red one.
The minestrone?
Pasta fagioli.
Oh, I ain't never had that. I stick to what I know. The Zuppa Toscana. That with the breadsticks with the Alfredo sauce on the side. Did a little dippity dip. Ooh.
See, Lisa is very
Okay,
particular
look,
about
go
how
ahead
she
and talk
eat.
about it. But yeah, we will definitely
But
put
look,
that link
like,
down below for you all to check it out, man. The application took like 30, 45 minutes. And depending on how many schools, I mean, if I had 2 schools that were on that list. So one of them has gotten approved so far. I'm hoping for the other one. The other one, they said it will remain in a pending status because lawsuits.
Right. Haters in the building.
Well, not the Biden lawsuits, just the sheer amount of lawsuits against the school.
Right. So they may not have the finance for this
like
after all these lawsuits.
There's so many lawsuits going on right now that are happening. So but the thing is the big picture of this is that I don't have to, regardless of whether this whole freeze is going on or not going on, I am not required to have to pay my student loans at this point in time. So, and look, y'all just hope and pray that I get this money back. Run me my money. Okay. Now, if I get this money back, I'm not gonna know how to act. Y'all already know.
Just don't be out here one of them people.
Who worked on a new deal? Like, can I get it?
What new deal, Chloe? What you want now?
She worked on dinner. Now she wants something else.
Pass me a rent.
Chloe said, "Run me a finder's fee, okay? I can buy my own food."
Hey, I'm not mad at that, actually.
I'm not mad at it either.
Cool 1%.
I'm not mad. Look, especially knowing how much money I've been paying towards these loans. Girl.
Facts. All that interest you've been paying, I'm sure. Shit.
I've been paying my loans this entire time through the pandemic because it's 0 interest. So I have been trying to battle the balance on paying it down because everything's going to principal. So, yeah.
Yay.
I have not been, I had other debt to take care of. That's what made me mad. I was like, now this happens when I got other shit that I got to get paid off.
Yeah.
So I really didn't make any pay, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because if the thing goes through, that's going to be my whole balance for that loan.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That would be nice.
Because I should qualify for the whole $20,000 because at least for 1 or 2 semesters I had Pell Grants.
Look at God.
Hey. I'm hoping that thing goes through, man, because I got that letter. I am approved as soon as it's good to go. I'm like, please. Because I also think I've had a Pell Grant at one point. So, that $20,000 will put a nice dent in what I got.
Awesome.
Right. I'll pretty much only owe like $20,000 after that if this happens. and I would be happy with that. And the payment amount on that is low. It's only like
Right.
$100 a month.
You can see the
Hey.
light at the end of the
I
tunnel.
can
Because think
afford
about it.
that.
20,000, that's a
Mhm.
car. Most people you can pay a
Yeah.
car off
Hmm.
in
3 or
5
4
years.
years. Mhm.
Yep.
Light at the end of the tunnel instead of being buried
You
in
think about
student loan debt for the next 30, 40 years.
Mhm.
right, and thinking about all this, it's just like, God, they definitely could have handled this school thing so much
Mm-hmm.
better than what they did.
I'm not gonna lie. Them countries that got free education sound real good when it comes to education.
Okay, pop a baby out, send them overseas.
Shit. Baby, you gonna get you a whole doctorate. Go ahead.
Right.
Now, what
Shit.
budget methods worked for you? Any, because there's all different types of budgeting
Mhm.
tools and apps and all this type of stuff now. Is there anything in particular that's worked for you, ladies?
I mean, I had gotten a spreadsheet from a friend where she had put all these formulas and stuff in there, and I would use them to pay my bills because I would forget some bills sometimes because I didn't have them all written down.
Mm.
And that spreadsheet had been my saving grace. But I want to try that new. There's a new app. I don't know if y'all heard about.
Is that true, Bill?
Um, I don't know what it's called. Rocket Money,
Oh yeah, I've heard
where
of
you
that
can
one
do
too.
it that
Mhm.
way. And I thought about doing that because I kind of want to get rid of that spreadsheet. I don't want to deal with. I keep it on the work computer because that's where I got it.
Mm.
But I might put it in there because I think it also points out if there's certain services you're paying for that you're not using.
I don't know how
They
they
can
know
get that
that though. That's kind of
canceled for
scary
I
to
you.
think
me.
it's based off your bank account and
No,
your.
no.
Don't you have to give like your login information and stuff like that too?
I don't know how it works. I need to look at it.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I'm pretty sure they have your bank account information, but I don't think they know you're not using the service. I just think that's like a testimony people say in the commercial, like,
Okay.
I've been paying for this whole time
And I haven't
and
even
didn't even
used it.
realize it, and I wasn't even using this service. So
Dang, that means you ain't
I'm
looking
gonna
at your
check out.
bank account. That's crazy. I don't know what that feels like.
I don't know, but I'm gonna check it
I
out
check my bank
because I want
account
to get rid
every
of the spiritual
morning.
spreadsheet.
Every day. I got an alert. This is the balance that you had
That
last
part.
night at 2 a.m. Like,
Mhm.
I need to know everything that's going
Checking
on.
mine. I don't need no surprises
mhm.
from these freaking scammers and hackers getting people's information all the
Right.
time.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, budget wise, my thing is I have spreadsheets because you know me, I'm a nerd. I loves a spreadsheet. With buttons, I will make a macro button like nobody's business, baby. But I have found the biggest thing for me is the application of the budget, not necessarily creating the budget.
Okay.
So for
Yeah.
me, I get itchy for things and like it's been really hard. I've been better about just stopping the bleeding cuz it's literally like I'm bleeding all these monies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like JC thankfully is does not have the same issue I do with trying to spend money every time I get some. Like I actually have to tell him, babe, go get some sneakers. Go do something for yourself, please. Like it's been almost a year. Like come on, do something.
Oh.
But for me, I feel like right now I'm kind of doing a hybrid of cash envelopes and like just keeping track online,
Mm-hmm.
like using some spreadsheet. I'm trying to work on a spreadsheet system for myself. It's like using envelopes as well as taking into account my bank accounts as like online envelopes, if that makes sense. So I'm still working on it. It's a progress thing. Progress, not perfection.
Like,
What were you gonna say?
when you say that, do you mean, like, for example, I have in my bank account, I have another savings. Actually, I have two other savings. Um, and I have money from my paycheck, like $200 a
Hmm.
paycheck, going to a separate account.
Yeah.
And then I thought about putting money in the other account as well.
Hmm.
Are you talking about a system like that?
Yeah. So like, kind of having multiple accounts designated for something. Like we currently have a bills account, like where everything that's monthly recurring,
Mhm.
quarterly recurring, whatever, that is in the bills bucket. And then our basically everything we can use for groceries, um, gas, like anything that's kind of just like a variable expense will come out of our joint account. And then like we have other savings accounts and investments, so like I'm trying to figure out, it's a very manual thing that I'm doing right now. I wish I could just like hit a button and everything kind of feeds into a spreadsheet for me. But right now I'm looking up all of my balances not every day, but like very often, and just kind of trying to take out cash for things that are more on a quarterly or yearly basis, stuff like that. So that, like, say for car maintenance, that's just going to happen. You're going to need car tires. You're going to need to get oil changes and stuff. Like, so trying to pull out money every paycheck, just add to this bucket. That's kind of what I've been doing. And that seems to be working for us pretty well so far.
I'm sure
Nice.
there's an app for that.
There's always an app
Yeah,
for
there's
that, but
always
I
an
don't
app
know if I
for it.
necessarily want to give all that information for the app. You
Ah,
know what
you're
I mean?
leery of it.
I am a
Okay.
little leery.
Understandable, especially the current
Hmm.
world we're in right now.
Right? Did you see Bank of
Mhm.
America? Like
Girl, the
a whole
Zelle.
bunch of people, just like lost money. It was like, where the fuck is my shit?
Yep. What happened to that $500 that
Yeah.
I just got yesterday?
Right, and they just woke up to a negative balance. I would. Ooh, whew, I don't even know. Has it been resolved? Has it? I don't even
It
know.
just kind of fell by the wayside. Like it was like Bank of America
Oh, you don't
blamed
want to
Zelle,
discuss
Zelle
this?
blamed Bank of America. Whether these people's accounts were restored or not, I don't know. I'm not sure. I hope.
I sure the fuck hope
I
so,
imagine that
man.
maybe it did because I feel like if these people's accounts weren't restored, we would probably be hearing about it right now.
Oh
Still,
yeah, there
you
would be
know.
uproar in the streets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do. Um, well, when I was trying to get myself out of debt, I need small wins. And so
Mhm.
um when my job started sponsoring, well not sponsoring, but they paid for us to have Dave Ramsey's smart dollar and
Hmm.
the every dollar budgeting for free. I started using that, and the smart dollar does the snowball effect, but you can have
Mhm.
everything. You basically put all of your outline all of your debts. Of course, whichever one is the small snowball effect is whatever the smallest one is what you pay off first, and then you take
Right.
that amount that you were paying in that payment and apply it to your next whatever this number two second smallest debt was. So
Mhm.
and you just keep going down that path, your payment, adding that additional money towards this one debt until you get through all of those. So I
Mhm.
did that. That was beneficial for me. And then the automated savings type of thing that I use. One, I have a savings account that I do not have a debit or ATM card for, because
Mhm.
who wants to have to actually walk into the bank? Nobody. Yeah, like it
Facts.
True.
forces you to
It
be
is
like, you know
hard.
what? And and I have it set up to where a certain amount comes out of my paycheck automatically that goes into that account. So that way
Mhm.
in the very beginning, like I'm paying myself first of putting money away. But then
Facts.
for the bank account that I do have where like my debit card is tied to, I also have a separate savings. So that way in the event, um, like say there's $200 left over after paying bills and I've done all that I needed to before it's time to get paid again, I will either throw that money towards like paying something else down, or I will put it into like the floaters account that's tied to the debit card that I can easily, switch money back and forth to. Um,
Mhm.
and that's worked well for me.
Cool.
Keeps me on track. But like every morning I log in, I check them accounts every morning. Expect sometimes
Mhm.
a couple times a day after
You'd
that
be like, wait, let me
doggone
double check. Something else didn't
right.
post that I wasn't expecting. Hold up. Hold up. Mhm.
After that Zelle situation, I was like, wait a minute, I be using Zelle too. Now, is this Zelle with all banks or just Zelle with Bank of
For
America? Wait a
real.
minute.
I know that shit had me look. I was like, okay, I don't have Bank of America, but double check my accounts real fast. I don't
Mm-mm.
like that shit.
Well, one other thing that I didn't think about that has been helping is eating a better diet because I'm not buying
Mm,
fast food.
Yes,
So much money gets wasted on fast food
man.
when you do it on a regular basis.
Yes,
I can
I
agree.
agree.
So I'm glad I'm not doing it.
But I can say that I have found, though my body likes that I'm not eating fast food and I
Hmm.
like the results that I see. Whew, it costs more money to eat healthy, especially now that we are in this time. I who would ever thought that the point where you see eggs, a carton of eggs is like $5 or $6 now. Like what?
Man. Do you remember when they used to be 99 cents?
Okay. And then you up here look,
Well,
you thought you was big balling by getting the 18 count extra large eggs for
Man.
$1.25.
Listen, I used to, okay, so I'm an egg monger. I haven't, since I changed my diet up, I haven't been eating a lot of eggs. But when I was an egg monger, I ate 3 eggs a day, maybe sometimes 6.
Oh,
So,
dang.
yeah,
girl.
no, hardcore. Just me. I would go through them bitches. So, when I tell you I used to go to Walmart and pick up the 60 count, it used to cost $7.98 for 60. Go back in there now, that bitch is like, I don't even know. I haven't even checked since it like was over. Like it was like $20.
Ugh,
I was like, what?
I got 2 cartons of eggs and it was $10 and some change.
ridiculous.
Mm-mm.
How are we supposed to
And then
survive
they
like
wonder why
this?
people are going to McDonald's and these fast food places because,
Right. 99 cent
yeah,
menu.
the prices have gone up, but it's
Right.
still cheaper to eat unhealthy than it is for you
Mm-hmm.
to eat healthy. So
Yeah,
it takes dedication, but I just look at it as like to your point,
it's worth
Chloe,
it though.
like it's one thing to be at home cooking, or I am one of those that is guilty of, oh, I just went to the store and then spent like $150, $200 on groceries, and I'm still gonna stop at Chick-fil-A on the way home. Like I was that
Facts.
I
Guilty.
was that person. I'm not saying that I'm not going to be that person in the future, but I'm more
Mm-hmm.
cognizant of that now because of the price tag. We trying to hold on to this
Yep.
Yeah.
coinage. We got goals.
Mm-hmm. Goals.
Now, any other motivation for the finance journeys that y'all want to add? Let the people know.
I just want a home. That's what I really want. I don't
Yeah,
want to get out of this apartment.
that's your next chapter.
I feel like when I think about,
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was done.
No, I'm done now.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just think about everything that I want. It's so much that I feel like I'm never gonna reach. Like it's not never gonna be within reach.
Baby, you got to change that mentality. We're going to change it
Yeah,
Hmm.
because it is
and
within reach.
that's
It's just baby steps to get there.
yeah. And I feel like one of my first steps is getting the career
Hmm.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
better paying career. It's gonna help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I definitely want a house myself. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to do that on my own now because it's a really hard thing for a single person to do now. It's like not barely possible for someone on one income to be able to get a house anymore. So we'll see how that goes. Um, the rest of my student loans, after whatever goes
Mm-hmm.
down with the student loan forgiveness stuff, I want to get that paid off. I want to get my car paid off. Now my car is going down really fast because I have been putting extra.
Mm-hmm.
Like even with me putting the extra, my payment's like 340 something. But since I put the extra, it'll show like, oh, your payment this month is 200 something dollars. Nope, I'm still putting 350 on there.
Mm-hmm.
So that I like seeing how quickly that's going down.
Yeah.
But and I just want to save an abundance in my savings account so that if anything happens, I always have the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You should always have at least, that was one thing that I learned with Dave
Dave
Ramsey
Ramsey.
is before you even
Mhm.
start doing debt payoff, you need to at least have an $1,000 emergency fund set aside.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mhm.
usually, like if something like how Drea said, car situations, something happens to your car, usually it's going to be about $1,000. So if you can at
Mm-hmm.
least
Yeah.
have an emergency savings of $1,000 that you can just hold to the side, and honestly, at this point, I wouldn't put it in a regular savings account just because the way that inflation is right now, it's just not worth it. But
Just losing money, basically.
yeah,
But
have it in something to
mhm.
where you can get better interest or some type of return on it.
Yeah.
But get that $1,000 savings at minimum,
Mm-hmm.
and then work towards paying that debt down. That was beneficial for me. For me,
Can
honestly,
I?
I'm hoping 2 to 3 years that I can
Mm-hmm.
be debt free minus mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a house yet, but I would hope in 2 to 3 years that is the
Mm-hmm.
goal.
That's the only debt you got.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that would be the goal, to have that as the only sense of debt. So
That's
yeah,
good.
man.
Can I? I'm gonna change mine actually, because I do desperately want a home. Not desperately. I'm not desperate for nothing. I am abundant. I have an abundance of things I love and don't need much. But anyway, what I do want to strive for is multiple income streams more than
Mhm.
anything. I was like, because we're in an apartment, we're good. I always am interested in doing better though. Like it's hard for me to just sit and settle and be okay with things as they are. But like in the grand scheme of things, we're good. But like what I really, really, truly want, like you say, financial freedom. I want financial freedom at the top of the list
Mhm.
and multiple income streams. That's what I'm striving for.
It can be done.
Hmm. We are in the process. That's it.
Yes, yes. 2023,
Yeah.
nothing
Hmm.
but blessings.
Blessings, so blessings, so blessings, so blessings, so blessings, so blessings, so blessings.
Do y'all have any
Anyway,
shout outs for this week?
speaking of investing and stuff like that, so JC actually put me onto him is Wallstreet Trapper.
Oh, yes, girl. Yes.
Yeah,
Look, you
I was
fine
like, I
too.
think of you every time I fucking see him. Every time I
Let that
see him, I
all that
am thinking
chocolate.
of you. I swear. I'll be like, oh my God, this is so up her alley right now.
Any country
So
girl, any country.
I feel like JC said he's from Philly or something.
He
So
from New
he ain't,
Orleans.
it's oh, he is from New Orleans. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because that baby. The
Mm-hmm.
baby. Hmm. But anyway, so yeah, like we actually just uh have gotten into his stuff, and it's funny because although I have worked in finance, like we all met in the same job, but like I didn't have any sales training, so I don't really have the background of like investing. I know the back office operations.
Right.
And it's funny how I feel like I put myself in a hole, like not really understanding the market, even though I knew about a lot of things. Like I have a lot of terms, but they're kind of just floating in the air. They don't really apply to anything for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Wall Street Trapper is helping me understand the terms that I've already learned. So
Right.
I appreciate that. And I feel like it's going to be a good investment to listen to him and stuff. So that's my
Girl,
shout out.
let me get on
I
him.
just
Hmm.
love
I
his
feel like,
story.
and he's trying to do good. He's trying to put everybody up on game. I love it.
He learned how to get into investing by being locked up from selling drugs, and he caught a gun charge as well.
Mm.
But either way, he actually was locked up a couple times, he said. But the time that changed his life was when, I can't remember how many years he was doing, but he met this white guy that was there in prison. He had some type of federal crime that he did, and he was serving less time doing this federal crime, and he had stole, for whatever the crime was, the guy
So
had
much
stole a
more.
couple million worth in damages or
Mhm.
whatever.
Oh,
But when the guy was like, "Yeah, when I get out of here, um, he started talking to him about the market and things of that nature. He was like, "Yeah, when I get out of here, I still have millions of dollars to be able
Like,
to
I'm just chilling.
fall back on." It was just kind of opened his eyes, like, I'm in here for selling drugs. I don't have nothing, and I'm doing more time than
Mhm.
you on a
Yeah.
regular level, like state level. Meanwhile, this white man committed a federal crime, paid millions in damages, and still has millions to go back to.
Mhm.
Oh, that's the game changer right there. And the guy just put him
Mhm.
up on game in regards to, like, you help people in so many different ways. Take that mentality of the streets and apply it to a way where it's going to be beneficial for you. And that really is kind of what kickstarted that for him, was the time that he spent in
Mhm.
prison. And
That's
he
dope.
what I like though is that he's honest in the fact that, okay, yeah, he didn't get out and just go straight and narrow. It took a couple times after that
Yeah.
before he
Yeah.
finally got it together. So yeah, he's a good one.
Mhm.
Earn Your Leisure is another one.
Yep.
Wall Street Trapper deals with them a lot. Just like the Master Investor, who he kind of tag teams with Earn Your Leisure as well.
Oh,
They're
okay.
all of them are
I haven't
super
heard of the
dope.
Master Investor, but yeah.
Super dope.
Is that your shout out?
Yes. Y'all know I love Anthony O'Neill as well. Anthony O'Neill also
Facts.
not only does the investing, but he used to work for Dave Ramsey. That's how I got into him. He used to work for Dave Ramsey. He now is independent. He doesn't work for them
Mm.
anymore. And not only just from the financial aspect of things, but he also his show now is very well rounded, in my opinion. It's
Mhm.
kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Well, my shout out, not it's a little bit of a different shout out, but I wanted to share something that I learned,
Mm.
I guess, kind of about myself recently, and then something I'm doing to help me reach my goals. So, I told y'all I've been learning a lot about myself from that dietitian I've been
Hmm.
seeing.
Mhm.
So, our conversation last week, I was telling her, I was like, one thing I noticed about myself is if I'm thinking about, if I have a lot of goals I want to meet, or just a lot of things that I feel like I need to do, or a lot of tasks, I spend a lot of time thinking about them. And, all you keep thinking is, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. I need to get this done. But you never get anything
Right.
done. And so she explained to me what happens is it's like a stress response, and you kind of end up like a deer in headlights, and you freeze and you never end up getting anything done.
Mhm.
And so I said, yeah, I think that's what's going on with me. And I'm thinking, I said, because I told her, I was like, thinking back when we talked about this, and I had said, it works for me when I put stuff in a calendar on my phone, because that way I don't think about it until the alert comes up, so I'm not stressing about it. So I decided to get like a weekly and monthly planner, which I just got in the mail today. But I made a plan. What I'm going to do from here on out is I'm going to start scheduling my days, like my weekdays. So every day after work, I'm going to choose a chore. I'm going to do this, because that's another thing. It's like your weekends, sometimes you don't end up really doing much throughout the week except for the basics, like keeping your kitchen clean and
Right.
stuff. But you don't really do any other chores. And I'm like, I'm tired of spending like a whole day on my weekends doing everything in one day. So I'm going to start scheduling time in my planner to do a different chore every day, even if it's just real small, like shred your mail, do this, do that, to where I'm at least getting stuff done.
Mm.
I'm going to schedule in, going back to trying to learn Spanish again. So I'm going to make sure I put some time every day to do that. I'll be doing my little practice today after we get off of here. I'm going to schedule my workouts, and I'm also going to try scheduling, when I want sweets and stuff, because, they say it really helps when you schedule certain meals or
Hmm.
whatever you're craving. I'm going to put that in my planner too.
I was
I'm going to
gonna
put whatever
say I
I need
didn't
to in
know
my
that.
planner.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. She said plan your desserts. Plan to have them after dinner only, or plan, like, if you have plans this weekend, plan it into that.
Mm.
So I really feel like getting this planner, and it's a really cute planner. I got it today, but I think it's going to help to actually pencil in what I'm going to do on a daily basis so that I'm making sure I'm getting something done, even when it comes down to my research for my certificates I've been talking about getting for career stuff, because I've been getting overwhelmed about that and like, I don't know where to start. So what I'm telling myself is I'm going to schedule 30 minutes to an hour every day to at least look at something pertaining to that. So I'm going to have some busy weekdays,
I like it.
but I'm not doing nothing on the weekends.
I like that
Right.
idea. I would have to do it
Mhm.
digital. I am not a write it down on a piece of paper type of person. That don't work for me.
Mhm.
I am mostly paper.
Something just makes it feel official to actually write it in a planner.
Mm-hmm. What kind of planner is it? Is it a Hobonichi Weeks?
I don't know what that
Okay,
is.
because that's what I've been getting into lately. It's funny you said you're getting into it. I literally just bought the Hobonichi Weeks and the Hobonichi Cousin, and I've been going down a rabbit hole of planning, and I love it. I am very
Well, I'm
addicted.
gonna show you my planner after we get done
All right,
recording.
cool. I'll show you mine. I'm excited.
Yeah.
What about?
But and I ended up telling my brother-in-law about it, and he was like, because I was telling him about wanting to get into a certain industry, and because his business is in that industry,
Hmm.
the one me and you were talking about, Dre,
Mm-hmm.
and it's doing successful, and he was like, well, what are you doing to get started? I was like, nothing. And then I explained the whole situation to him about, me stressing out and ending up not getting anything done. And I told him I'm going to get a planner and start writing everything down. He was like, most successful entrepreneurs, right? They have a yearly planner where it has year down to the year, or like a quarterly. I think it was quarterly. So it has quarterly and monthly and weekly and daily. So he was like, I have extras. Do you want one? I was like, oh, I already ordered one, but it's nice to hear that he uses that. Someone that I know, have seen, is having success.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I really feel like it's going to be helpful for me to actually schedule my things in on a daily basis. So I'm actually getting stuff done
That's dope.
and not stressing out about it. So that's my little shout out.
Yay.
You can do it, girl. You can do it.
Damn. Oh, sorry. Real quick. One other shout out was for the Brown Ambition podcast, because those ladies are doing it. And I've only listened to like one episode, but when they were talking about, oh yeah, I dropped cash for my house, I was like, what? I need to be listening
Goals.
more. Okay.
Goals.
Yes.
Right.
I am going to put this on my listen list. Thank you. So Brown Ambition. They are doing it big, and I love it.
Oh, I love hearing stuff like that. See, that's the
Mhm.
positive
Me
note.
too.
Positive note to leave us on.
Yes,
Making
it is all
sure
possible.
manifest what you want, but make sure that you
Mhm.
continue to put the action in play. Easier said than
Facts.
done, but it can be done.
Mhm. Love it.
Love it.
We got this.
Let's
2023.
go.
It is our year.
Blessings
Yeah.
on blessings. Until next time, my loves.
Yes. Love y'all. See you.
Bye.